the streets at night. So many dreams gone out like light. Youths them caught in a system cold, chasing shadows that take their soul. But the rhythm of hope is strong. Feel the beat guide us along. Plant the seed of change in the ground, and reap the fruits of love from this song. I'm sure we can rise from the shadows as we shine. Through the pain and the sorrows, leave the darkness behind. For the youth and the future, let the healing begin. In the rhythm of the island, let love pull us in. So come from the dust till dawn, as we rise up every morn. We'll fly through the skies like rain. Our people will rise again. Hand in hand is how we'll start. Everyone can play their part. Man, woman, and child come in. Let the cleansing begin. What are you doing? Hear me? For the common man, times real hard. Crime and murders driving we mad. And the youths them can't find no work, cause the system take them for joke. Let the positive fight control. We must not lose sight of our goal. In spite the stress and the strain, let us build our country again. I'm sure we can rise from the shadows as we shine. Through the pain and the sorrows, leave the darkness behind. For the youth and the future, let the healing begin. In the rhythm of the island, let love pull us in. So come from the dust till dawn, as we rise up every morn. We'll fly through the skies like rain. Our people will rise again. Hand in hand is how we'll start. Everyone can play their part. Man, woman, and child come in. Let the cleansing begin. Everybody wave your hands like this. What are you doing? Who drives that? Hear it. Politicians drive their nice car, while the poor man mighty fake car. The oil money blowing like dust. The people don't know who to trust. But every crisis we will master and rise to triumph from disaster. We will cast the evil away. We make the solemn pledge here today. I'm sure we can rise from the shadows as we shine. Through the pain and the sorrows, leave the darkness behind. For the youth and the future, let the healing begin. In the rhythm of the island, let love pull us in. So come from the dust till dawn, as we rise up every morn. We'll fly through the skies like rain. Our people will rise again. Hand in hand is how we'll start. Everyone can play their part. Man, woman, and child, let the cleansing begin. From the ghetto I born and grow, I learned to make joy from sorrow. Even though it was hardship and pain, I see the blessings falling like rain. And every time the setbacks would come, I keep the faith and weather the storm. With every step and toil I strive, just to keep my dreams alive. I'm sure we can rise from the shadows as we shine. Through the pain and the sorrows, leave the darkness behind. For the youth and the future, let the healing begin. In the rhythm of the island, let love pull us in. So come from the dust till dawn, as we rise up every morn. We'll fly through the skies
Street 919 FM, your go-to for insightful political discourse. Stay informed, stay engaged, and join the conversation. Connect with us online for the latest updates and thought-provoking discussions. Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation. You are listening to the Street 919 FM. Stay with us for news, interviews, and commentary that shape our democracy. Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation. Constructive Talk with Pastor Google, where every conversation builds bridges and sparks solutions, because together we can shape a better future. On the Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation.
Like African and the next prefer East Indian, but this way of choosing leaders is a disgrace. Yeah, why? Because a leader must help his country to rise. A good leader, be able to motivate and then mobilize. A good leader, and a leader must be one whose vision is clear, holding ethics and integrity. Yeah, a good leader. Oh yes, a leader should be humble and polite, not wrapped up in ego, arrogant, always picking fight, not a tyrant or a dictator. That is not what this country needs. That will only make my nation lead. His first goal should be service, not self-advancement or greed. Blessed is the one who was born to lead. Oh, good leaders are born, not made, setting standards since get trade. Blessed is the one who was born to lead. A mentor, a teacher, a trainer. Experience is their greatest tool. Should be discerning, yet forever learning. One who doesn't gladly suffer fools. And in a world that loves a maximum leader, he must know when to let go and delegate. Must be the most able of his peers, not driven by petty fears. And though he can, don't always dominate, because a leader must be blessed with wisdom also. A good leader, know when to take in front and when to follow. A good leader, and a leader must be the one to set the template. So those coming after could duplicate. A good leader, oh yes, a leader should be humble and polite, not wrapped up in ego, arrogant, always picking fight. Not someone seduced by flattery. That is not what this country needs. Not stumbling about like a tumbleweed. His heart should beat with courage, not be coward or weak-kneed. Blessed, good leaders are born, not made. Being a mentor is their trade. Blessed is the one who was born to lead. We don't want someone always thinking small. No, no. No, no, no. That's not a leader at all. At all, at all. One who always booze, drinking alcohol. trickster, a conman, a hustler. We don't need someone specialized in fraud, but want to be respected and never rejected. Here at home and especially abroad, they don't have to be a lawyer or doctor. Their first degree should be common sense. And when it's time to decide, you cannot run, you cannot hide. A firm stand he must take, don't sit on the fence. Because a leader mustn't drift like sinking sand. By the courage of his convictions, he should stand. And a leader can't bend with every wind that pass. To his values and principles, hold fast. Oh yes, a leader should let his instincts prevail. Know how to cut apart, yeah, there is no trail. Not someone seduced by flattery, that is not what this nation needs. We don't need another trumpet, indeed. Should be stable with family values, not looking for young girls to breed. Bless us. Good leaders are born, not made. Setting standards is their trade. The son is the one who was born to lead. Good leaders are born, not made. Lifting up others is their trade. Blessed. Good leaders are born, not made. Leaving us better off is their trade. Blessed is the one who was born to lead. Thank you.
Constructive Talk with Pastor Google, where every conversation builds bridges and sparks solutions, because together we can shape a better future. On the Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation. Pastor Google. On the Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation.
This fight is about bread, butter, and justice. And we fight with blood, sweat, and tears. We won't give up, we won't surrender, and we shall overcome. When talking about labor here in Trinidad, you can't leave out Butler, the man from Hyderabad. He appears and disappears, so the people say. I hear he made an appearance just the other day, and he said, what he say? Roger, comrade Roger. Roger, why you gone down there? How could you abandon your brother David Abdullah? Roger, comrade Roger, I know you've been there before. How come you ain't seen corruption evermore? Roger, comrade Roger, boy, you down there on your own, looking like a hungry dog begging for a bone. Roger. They say you made the best offer for the refinery, but they still looking for a buyer. They scorn your money. That must be a bitter pill. Of course you're gonna be angry, but remember what Stalin say, black man don't get nothing easy. I know you agree. Roger, comrade Roger, Roger, why you gone down there? How could you abandon your brother David Abdullah? Roger, comrade Roger, I know you've been there before. How come you ain't seen corruption evermore? Roger, comrade Roger, boy, you down there on your own, looking like
like a hungry dog begging for a bone.
Oh yeah. Certainly you have the right to endorse anybody. So comrade, don't be uptight or fuss too much over me. I just do not understand why you forsake your own brother. But if you're happy with that, you could go and campaign for Lucifer.
Oh, his sister
Roger, comrade Roger. Roger, why you gone down there? How could you abandon your brother David Abdullah? Roger, comrade Roger, I know you've been there before. How come you ain't say corruption evermore? Roger, comrade Roger, boy, you down there on your own, looking like a hungry dog begging for a bone. Roger. The labor movement came the MSJ, seeking to bring improvement in governance today. I thought you was all for that like George Wicks and Rienzi, but you proved to we you rather put party before country. Comrade go free, Roger, comrade Roger, Roger, why you gone down there? How could you abandon your brother David Abdullah? Roger, comrade Roger, I know you've been there before. How come you went say corruption evermore? Hey, Roger, comrade Roger, boy, you down there on your own, looking like a hungry dog begging for a bone. Roger.
Well, good afternoon and welcome back. Welcome back to Constructive Talk with me, Pastor Google. I hope that you all are locked on and tuned in and ready for our discussion this afternoon. I don't know where you're listening to me, but whatever part of Trinidad and Tobago you're listening to me today, I appreciate. I am thankful. I am happy. I'm seeing you on YouTube jumping back on. Thank you all very, very much. For those of you who are coming onto YouTube, I appreciate you guys a whole lot. Those of you listening to me on your radios, thank you all very much. And those of you listening to me on your phone, yeah, I know that a lot of persons who listen to me on their phone. Today I'm coming to work. I met a lady. I met a lady on Frederick Street. And she said, Pastor Google, you will live long, boy. I know talking about you. I know, telling my friends and them here about you. And that's something that happens. We talk about that all the time. Sometimes you see some, now talking about somebody, and then they appear. You know what I mean? So again, I want to thank those of you who meet me on the streets, and you always give me loving words, kind words. I appreciate that a whole lot. Today I told you all that I would have had senior counsel. I did speak with him. Unfortunately, he is caught. He may not be able to be on with me again because of circumstances beyond his control. He sent me a message. He's not in Trinidad and Tobago, by the way. So those of you who were wondering, he's not in Trinidad and Tobago. He's outside of Trinidad and Tobago. So he said to me that unfortunately he would not be able to entertain my phone call. Alright, he will not be able to entertain my phone call today.
Brother David Abdullah, Roger, comrade Roger, I know you've been there before. How come you ain't seen like a hungry dog begging for a bone. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so again, I'm just letting you all know that I was expecting, or I would have tried to organize an interview today with Mr. Martin Daly, sorry, and unfortunately, because of time difference or where he is, he's unable to take my call.
Roger, comrade Roger, Roger, why you gone down there? How could you abandon your brother David Abdullah? Roger.
All right, so let's start. Let's start with I wanted to play for you. Let me play for you this clip of him on TV6 last night. On TV6 News, he would have made his statements or his point about the appointment of Prime Minister Stuart Young. Take a listen to Mr. Martin Daly.
Those letters provide a basis for the President to act under Section 76(1)(a) of the Constitution. One letter was Rowley's resignation letter, thereby creating a vacancy in the office of Prime Minister. The other two letters added up to expressions of support by all of the PNM members in Parliament for Young to be appointed Prime Minister in the light of the vacancy that Rowley's resignation letter created. I've been saying that since January. Namely, that those items were necessary and preconditions to the appointment being constitutionally proper. I'm laughing with my friends and saying that perhaps the government took my free legal advice.
All right, let me play it one more time because I don't think some of you would have heard it. If you heard it, then you could tell me if you heard it. But let me play it over again for you all to hear what Mr. Martin Daly had to say. All right, so take a listen again to what Senior Counsel Martin Daly had to say.
This provide a basis for the President to act under Section 76(1)(a) of the Constitution. One letter was Rowley's resignation letter, thereby creating a vacancy in the office of Prime Minister. The other two letters added up to expressions of support by all of the PNM members in Parliament for Young to be appointed Prime Minister in the light of the vacancy that Rowley's resignation letter created. I've been saying that since January. Namely, that those items were necessary and preconditions to the appointment being constitutionally proper. I'm laughing with my friends and saying that perhaps the government took my free legal advice.
So you heard what he just said, right? And yes, that's my discussion for this afternoon. You know, people are asking, is it constitutionally right and stuff like that. So I just played for you what Senior Counsel Martin Daly had to say about it. All right, let's listen to what the opposition had to say. Last night it was so difficult for me to listen, but boy, I don't know. I have to kind of get back into that zone. So let's listen again. Let's listen, to what the opposition have to say about the appointment of Minister Young as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Take a listen to this, Trinidad and Tobago. So you just heard Senior Counsel Martin Daly. I'm going to try and play for you another video of him on another radio station and what he had to say. Take a listen to this.
In a statement released by the Office of the Leader of the Opposition, the UNC described the PNM's actions as a desperate attempt to manufacture a false narrative of change, hoping to distract citizens from the government's record over the past decade. The opposition party emphasized that despite the PNM's reshuffling of leadership, it is ultimately the same group of individuals responsible for what they refer to as, quote, pain, suffering, abuse, and nothingness, end quote, under the current administration. The UNC also took aim at the appointment of Camille Robinson-Regis, dismissing it as a failed attempt at leadership. The statement said, quote, her appointment does not inspire confidence, end quote. The party stresses that it is the only real safeguard against the PNM's continued actions, vowing to restore the rights of citizens and provide the country with new leadership. The UNC also sought to reassure the country that it is a responsible opposition and vows to continue fighting for the people. Aksha Gulston, TV6 News.
While that is happening, yesterday outside of the president's house, you had people protesting. I don't know how many of you are aware of that. There's a few people, a group of people would have gathered outside president's house to protest against the swearing in of the new prime minister. And those persons didn't really make an impact to see. But we're looking at the Constitution. We're looking at what was said. Right, what was said. Someone is saying that you didn't hear the report properly from the opposition. So what I will have to do, okay, I'll play it over one more time. And if you're now joining me, we're looking at the Constitution, we're talking, I want to hear from you today. What are your views? Again, those of you who might be looking out for Senior Counsel Martin Daly, who I said would have supposed to be joining me today. Unfortunately, he would have, because of the time difference, and he's not in Trinidad, so we have to reschedule. But I want you to listen again, because someone is saying to me that the audio didn't come across too clearly with the opposition leader and the reporter. All right, so take a listen to it again and see if you're hearing it properly.
In a statement released by the Office of the Leader of the Opposition, the UNC described the PNM's actions as a desperate attempt to manufacture a false narrative of change, hoping to distract citizens from the government's record over the past decade. The opposition party emphasized that despite the PNM's reshuffling of leadership, it is ultimately the same group of individuals responsible for what they refer to as, quote, pain, suffering, abuse, and nothingness, end quote, under the current administration. The UNC also took aim at the appointment of Camille Robinson-Regis, dismissing it as a failed attempt at leadership. The statement said, quote, her appointment does not inspire confidence, end quote. The party stresses that it is the only real safeguard against the PNM's continued actions, vowing to restore the rights of citizens and provide the country with new leadership. The UNC also sought to reassure the country that it is a responsible opposition and vows to continue fighting for the people. Aksha Gulston, TV6 News.
All right. So I'm glad that you all was able to hear it better. So we're looking at the Constitution, right? We're looking at the Constitution. We're looking at what was said. The president would have made a statement and stuff like that. So I'm not taking any calls right now. We'll be talking about it. We're now starting to talk. So don't call in just yet. Let's look at what's going on, because I want you all to be able to get into the discussion a little bit just in a little while. So we're looking at the Constitution. We're looking at what the president had to say. We're looking at I played for you what Senior Counsel Martin Daly had to say on TV6. I said I'll play for you also what he would have said on another radio station, because I'm trying to give you all different views, Different views, a different view. All right. So yeah, we having this discussion. Somebody asked me something, and I'm going to, and this is where I'm going to now put a spin on it. So somebody would have asked me today. They said to me, they said, Google, we had Watson Duke, the PDP, which is Watson Duke, PDP winning the Tobago House of Assembly election. You remember that? So they won the election. It's the same constitution, eh? I want you to listen. They won the election in Tobago. Watson Duke and Farley and the others had an issue, and they bust up, they split up, they mash up. Are they listening? They mash up, they split up everything. And Watson Duke had to rock to the side with PDP, and Farley and they were considered to be what? Independent before they started the Tobago People's Party. They were independent with Farley. Then Farley come about, start his own party, and what happened? The Farley and they now are in control. And Watson Duke, who PDP, who won. But what happened there? Farley got the majority. Farley got the majority without a party because they were independent. You remember when they were talking about we are independent until they came together and formed a party? We just forget, you know. As a nation, we just really forget. You know that? We as a nation just forget. Real bad. Real bad. And I want to play for you something. Okay, before I play that, I want to show you all something. I want to show you guys something. So yeah, the discussion about our constitution and is it lawfully right and stuff like that, I would have gotten somebody sent me a video here. Right? Yeah, so I want to show you all this. Let's show you all this. Yep, so we're looking at the Constitution. It's on the screen, it's on your screen. Alright, it's on your screen, it's on my screen. And if you're seeing it, let me know if you're seeing it clear. If you're not seeing it clearly, let me know. Alright. Right? I hope you all are seeing it loud, very clearly. Where there is occasion of an appointment of a prime minister under section 76. Alright? You all can see it there. I'm sure you all seeing it. Let me know if you all seeing it. Oh, Antivika. Alright. So, let me know if you're seeing it clearly. And, yeah. So, we have this debate happening now. All discussions and rightfully so, if you want to have a discussion about it, that is what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, so let me play for you what Mr. Martin Daly said on another radio station this morning. I want you to hear it. Because I couldn't get him. If I ain't get him to come on my program, then, you know, I have to play what I have. So take a listen to this. Trinidad and Tobago.
Morning to you, sir.
morning, Dale and Tony. Good morning to your listeners.
So the UNC are going to court. You think they are serious, or you think they're joking?
Well, you could make an oxymoron out of that, but anyway. Yeah, they're probably serious. They're entitled to go to court and ask the court to interpret Section 76. I think they're wasting their time, but they're entitled to do that. I mean, as we know from the Reggie Dumas case and the Nizam Mohammed case, you can ask the court to interpret the Constitution and interpret whether something was valid. You can't attack the president's decision directly, and you can't have it set aside, but you can get an interpretation. But I am satisfied that 76.1 was used in a manner in which the appointment of Mr. Young as Prime Minister is lawful. I said since January that provided Rowley resigned and they had a letter signed contemporaneously with the resignation, signed by all of the PNM members of the House of Representatives, then the conditions for Section 76 would be satisfied. In fact, my friends are laughing at me. They say I gave the government, by saying that since January, that I gave the government free legal advice and they took it. But they'll still cuss me up, but it's okay.
So you heard that. I'm going to play it one more time because I want you all to listen to what he is saying. I want you all to listen to what Senior Counsel Martin Daly is saying. If you don't understand, if you understand, you don't understand, that's not my fault. I want you to listen again.
Dear listeners.
So the UNC are going to court. You think they are serious, or you think they're joking?
Well, you could make an oxymoron out of that, but anyway. Yeah, they're probably serious. They're entitled to go to court and ask the court to interpret Section 76. I think they're wasting their time, but they're entitled to do that. I mean, as we know from the Reggie Dumas case and the Nizam Mohammed case, you can ask the court to interpret the Constitution and interpret whether something was valid. You can't attack the president's decision directly, and you can't have it set aside, but you can get an interpretation. But I am satisfied that 76.1 was used in a manner in which the appointment of Mr. Young as Prime Minister is lawful. I said since January that provided Rowley resigned and they had a letter signed contemporaneously with the resignation, signed by all of the PNM members of the House of Representatives, then the conditions for Section 76 would be satisfied. In fact, my friends are laughing at me. They say I gave the government, by saying that since January, that I gave the government free legal advice and they took it, but they'll still cuss me up.
All right. So that was Mr. Martin Daly on another frequency, sharing with the nation, hey, based on this section here, you don't see anything wrong. Most people say to me that Mr. Martin Daly, SC, is a constitutional lawyer. The man understands the Constitution. He said some things there that I hope you all listen to, because you know I like to repeat, and I want to just replay something he said again, and I want you to listen. Listen.
Do you think they're joking?
Well, you could make an oxymoron out of that, but anyway. Yeah, they're probably serious. They're entitled to go to court and ask the court to interpret Section 76. I think they're wasting their time, but they're entitled to do that. I mean, as we know from the Reggie Dumas case and the Nizam Mohammed case, you can ask the court to interpret the Constitution and interpret whether something was valid. You can't attack the president's decision directly, and you can't have it set aside. But
so you cannot attack the president's decision, and you cannot set it aside. But you could go and ask the court to interpret the Constitution. You can. You can spend plenty money to go to the court to interpret the Constitution, but you cannot set it aside. Listen, eh?
But you can get an interpretation. But I am satisfied that 76-1 was...
So he is satisfied with 76-1. And the 76-1 is in front of you. He is satisfied with 76-1. So those of you who are looking, I showing you all, I building a case here, you know. So Senior Counsel Martin Daly is saying that he is satisfied with 76-1. He ain't no supporter of the PNM. He say whatever he has to say in condemnation of the PNM. But he is satisfied with 76-1. Okay. Trinidad and Tobago. Let's go. Let's listen.
Used in a manner in which the appointment of Mr. Young as Prime Minister is lawful.
So he is saying that 76-1, which is in front of you, which was used to appoint by Minister Young, is lawful. He is convinced of that. Who is convinced of that? Mr. Martin Daly SC is convinced that 76-1 of the Constitution was used properly by the President. You can go and take it to court and find out and question and get clarity. That is your business. But at the end of the day, Senior Counsel is saying that, hey, he's satisfied that it was used properly. Huh? Trinidad and Tobago?
The Nizam Mohammed case, you can ask the court to interpret the Constitution and interpret whether something was valid. You can't attack the President's decision directly and you can't have it set aside, but you can get an interpretation. But I am satisfied that 76-1 was used in a manner in which the appointment of Mr. Young as Prime Minister is lawful. I said since January that provided Rowley resigned and they had a letter signed contemporaneously with the resignation signed by all of the PNM members of the House of Representatives, then the conditions for Section 76 would be satisfied. In fact, my friends are laughing at me. They say I gave the government, by saying that since January, that I gave the government free legal advice and they took it. But they'll still cuss me up, but it's okay.
You did your public service.
No, but you need to send an invoice.
Sir.
You need to send an invoice.
Yes, sir.
You know?
No, it's all right. I don't work in guineas. So I think it's a lawful appointment. There are some questions about its legitimacy, but as I said in my column, I'm not unduly concerned.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, it's a lawful appointment. Senior Counsel Martin Daly is saying that it's a lawful appointment. I wonder if you're hearing me clearly. Anybody listening to me? Anybody heard what I just said? It's a lawful appointment. Cool? But I still want to ask you all about Watson, Duke, and Farley. When Farley and Watson Duke fell out, we were questioning, I remember Julia Davy, and they were here questioning the legitimacy of Farley being the assemblyman, the chief secretary, because the ticket that he won under, they are no longer under that ticket. They were moving about as independent. They were not moving about as PDP. They were independent. Huh? Let's go to the phone lines. 342-0081-466-5391. Coming close to my final hour. Here with you on Street 919 FM. Hello, good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, Pastor Booker.
Good afternoon.
Have more input. You have more thing to build your case on too. You know, it had Nizam Mohammed was making his statement last night on TV6. So if you want to get more validation that the appointment is correct and legal, he was saying that too. And the thing with Watson Duke, because people talking about leader and Dr. Rowley and resign. Watson Duke was the leader of his party.
Yeah, he
also.
was the leader. He was a lawful leader.
Right. Yeah. And he stepped aside and let Parley take the appointment. So everybody now want to talk. No, well, not everybody, but the UNC and the set a, I don't know what to call them, but they're talking about he had to resign from the party as leader. But you know they didn't have no problem when Duke didn't resign from his party.
But here the question I want to ask you: if Miss Karen Nunes Teixeira had won leadership of the PNM, right, without being a member of parliament, how would Dr. Oli would have been the prime minister and Karen Nunes Teixeira would have been the leader of the party?
Well, I don't know how that was going to work, because I don't know how Karen was going to win that. But I
no, but I'm just showing the example. I'm not saying that they should have win.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that if she had won, let's say that if she had won, remember there was an internal election. There was an internal election in the PNM. Karen Nunes Teixeira, Peter Taylor, all of them were coming up against Dr. Rowley.
Right, so if one of them had won.
If Karen had won leadership, what would have been the position today?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I really can't
all
say.
Right.
I really can't say. But
Well, thank you very much, caller.
but yeah.
Hello, good afternoon.
Pastor Google.
Hey, what go, mommy?
Pastor Google, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
How things with you?
Everything quiet for the hour.
Pastor Google. Pastor Google?
Yeah, go ahead, mommy. I hear you.
Yes, okay, my dear. Pastor Google, I know you're supposed to know. It's Trinidad and Tobago is a different country to govern. And you know that, right, Pastor Google?
Mm-hmm.
It is. What I'm telling you about Pastor Google. You heard clearly what Martin George said, right? He is satisfied. And you know, Pastor Google, have a lot of people will be against that, right? Yeah, Pastor Google, they could go to court, but what will be the outcome of it, Pastor Google? What will be the outcome? What do you think?
What will be the outcome?
Pastor Google, all I can say to you this afternoon, I want to thank Dr. Rowley over and over and over again, Pastor Google, for what he did and what he achieved. Yeah, what looking for Trinidad and Tobago. Well done, Dr. Rowley, well done. Pastor Google, other than that there, and I want to congratulate each and everyone who took up the position yesterday, you understand me?
Yeah.
Our new Prime Minister and whatnot, Ms. Camille Robinson Regis, well done. Everyone. Pastor Google, you have a good afternoon. Everything right with you there, right?
Everything quiet.
Okay, then you have a good afternoon, right?
All right, same to you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Good afternoon, sir.
This Kamala Prasad is very disingenuous, and it's a trademark of her. Because, you know, it's simple and straightforward. The lady is a senior counsel. She gave herself silk, so she should know about these things. On top of that, too, Dr. Rowley would have Dr. Rowley didn't just wake up one day and decide, look, it's like good thing, and that's what I'm going. That's what we do. Dr. Rowley would have seek legal advice because he said so. He do not do anything without seeking the advice on law. He said he's not a lawyer, and everything he does is law. So when Martin talks about he give free advice and he can laugh, that is rubbish. But you know, Pastor Google, yeah, I remember there was two elected members of parliament who went under the PNM ticket and represented a PNM in constituency in their constituency, and they closed the floor. Patrick Manning would have taken that to court and he'd have lost because it wasn't illegal to do so. I'm saying this, that to only say that Kamala Prasad would have been part of that UNC at the time. You see, when things go their way, they don't have no problem with it. You see, once you doing your thing and the thing and them have a problem, it's always an issue and it's always the court. They don't discuss anything, as we would say in layman would, as gentlemen, and come to a resolution. But every time they want their way, they want in court. Like Kamala Prasad's sister running the opposition office from the court. And I have a serious problem with that because I know that Kamala would have known because she would have been given advice, but she's still forcing Chile. But I want her to go. But before she goes, she mentioned remember she has a bill to pay to the EBC and the PNM. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. You're hearing me?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
Yes. Yes. So I understand what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. But you know, that 76-1 Constitution policy section, it's causing confusion with some specific words, which is the leader of the party. And I think therein is the problem with what the opposition and maybe a lot of people like myself have. When previous prime ministers were appointed, it was always the leader of that party became the prime minister. So is it that Mr. Stuart Young is the leader of the party now? Or is it Dr. Rowley? And I think that's the concern.
So let me ask you, with the same concern you have, when Watson Duke is the leader of is the leader of the PDP, right?
Okay.
Watson Duke, when they won the election in Tobago, Watson Duke is the leader of the party, but he allowed Fali to be the chief secretary.
Right, I remember.
But Watson Duke, in what you just saying there, commanded the majority in his party.
Correct.
But he allowed Fali to be the chief secretary.
If I remember correctly, that was an arrangement they entered into before Fali became chief secretary. Now, I don't know under what conditions that arrangement was made, but it was made.
And why this arrangement? Why the same arrangement cannot be made with Dr. Rowley and Prime Minister Young?
Because of the precedents that have been set before. So,
but there's a new precedent that was set with Fali and Watson.
But is it correct? And right.
But when they had the fallout, all right. So let's say you say it wasn't. Is it correct? But it wasn't correct. But they had a fallout, and when they fell out, and everybody is saying, but hey, you only need to go back to the poll because you all won under the PDP. They said no, we are all independent.
I agree, and I am agreeing with you, and that's why I started off by saying the confusion is because of the wording of that 76-1 section. If it was clearly specified that you could command the support of the House, that's different from leader of the party. Understand? So, because the previous prime ministers you had under NAR, it was Robertson, under Pandey, under UNC it was Pandey, under PNM it was Rowley and Manning, and under UNC again. You see, because of that, it became the leader of the party. So that's my interpretation, my layman interpretation.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, callers. This is 91.9 on Constructive Talk. You asked the question whether or not if Karen University Shera 4 years ago, right? It was the internal election. If she had won the position of political leader of the PNM, what would have happened then? And because the election wasn't due, in my opinion, until now, should have been the political leader of the PNM and Dr. Rowley continue as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Not because something is unusual does it mean that it's illegal. So it may not have happened before, however, that doesn't mean to say that it's illegal. So I come right back to the Constitution. Because this has never happened before, when you read this section of the Constitution, it is legal, but it's just that we're not accustomed of that, so that doesn't mean something is illegal. And again, as Martin George S.C. would have said, he's a constitutional lawyer. No law was broken, because at the end of the day, I keep saying, when you go to the polls to vote, you don't vote for a prime minister, you vote for members of parliament. And when whichever party wins the general election, when they go into parliament, the members of parliament are the ones who will pick who they want as the prime minister, and that will be done by who gets the most support. And that will be sent with the names and everything to the president, and this will happen. So what is the issue? I don't understand, because nobody ever votes for no prime minister. And not only that, they talk about reshuffle. And reshuffle has happened all the time. Kamala has reshuffled. How many times reshuffling is using the card deck that you have? So Minister Stuart Young, now the Prime Minister, did a reshuffling. It's the same cards that he has that move around. What is wrong in that? The only person there that is new is the Finance Minister.
Attention business owners. Are you looking to reach a vast audience and boost your brand's visibility? Then look no further. The Street 919 FM is here to help you shine. With over 170,000 followers on our social media platforms, our radio station is the perfect platform to showcase your products and services. Join us and let your message be heard by thousands of eager listeners. Contact us now to learn more about our affordable advertising packages. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to connect with your target audience. Advertise with the Street 919 FM today. For more information, call 399-5959, 384-2232, or 378-1470.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the Street 919 FM.
Port of Spain, Point Fortin. It's your turn to laugh like never before. Alternative International Comedy Festival featuring comedy star Damian Melville in concert with added drama, including Damian Melville as Dr. Rowley.
Listen to that. There's never a day you could wake up and you hear, what a lovely day. What beautiful sunshine. Let me go on the beach. Let me go and check my neighbor I haven't seen for a while. All you just get from them is yang, 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 yang. That is all.
Coming to Winifred Atwell Auditorium, Queens Hall, Saturday, March 22nd, and Mahaika Oval Sporting Complex, Point Fortin, Saturday, March 29th. Both shows, 7 p.m. Get tickets today and save a fantastic $50 while stock lasts at islandingtickets.com. Caches, Port of Spain, Gulf City Mall, Trin City Mall, Michelle's Arima, Passad the Food King, and Food Fantasy, Point Fortin, Valini's, San Fernando, Crosby, St. James, Extra Food Supermarkets, nationwide. For more info, call Alternative Festival Hotline at 774-5555.
Have you heard? The HDC is having an amnesty period where they're inviting people without leases to visit the HDC to become regularized. There is nothing better than having a roof over your head and the comfort of knowing that you and your family are safe. The apartment will be in your name and you will be recognized as the HDC's authorized tenant with responsibility for the payment and upkeep of your own home. If you have been occupying an HDC unit without legal consent from the HDC, you are required to become regularized. Please visit hdc.gov.tt/forms, click on the rental regularization transfer form, and fill in the required information. If you know someone who may be occupying a unit without approval, encourage them to utilize this option. It is one of the best ways to legitimize your living arrangements and peacefully occupy a unit. Be at peace. Get your HDC lease.
Come party.
Hey, what's up? This is your boy Major Hype, and guess what? It's all about Tobago. We're getting ready for Tobago. That's right, it all takes place in Tobago, Scarborough, Pigeon Point. Everybody come out, let me have a good time and let me enjoy ourselves now, man. It's all about comedy and party. It's gonna be crazy.
Man, you see that what I can't take with all you?
All right. Let me do this.
Listen, not a party, it's party. Let's have a party. You don't listen.
You can't win everything, brother.
The teeth in me right through, but it's okay.
Comedy Party, Friday, 18th April. Fairways Tobago Plantation, featuring Caribbean King of Comedy, Major Hype and Friends. Friday, 18th April. Get your tickets at Cache stores nationwide. Fairways Restaurant and the Lounge Plantation. Jenny's on the Boulevard. All E-Cliff Eli locations and online at islandetickets.com. Comedy show and party with all the top DJs.
Comedy and party. Have a party. We're gonna have a party after the comedy.
Sponsored by Cache, top-ranking guest house and tours, and Jenny's on the Boulevard.
This is yours truly, Wendy H. Lewis, host of A Woman's Worth, right here on Street 91.9 FM. Tune in every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, and on Tuesdays, 11 a.m. to 12 noon. We are commemorating International Women's Month, the month of March. Throughout the program, you will hear inspiring stories of trailblazing women. We will be engaging in meaningful conversations about gender equality and spotlight the voices of those making a difference in their communities. So whether you are a leader, a mother, a professional, an entrepreneur, or just a young woman trying to find your path, this is the program for you. This is your time, this is your space, this is your celebration. Join us right here on Street 91.9 FM.
A woman's worth. A woman's worth.
Planning your Tobago getaway? Choose the highest Google-rated car rental company on the island, O'Neill Auto Rentals Tobago. Located just minutes from the A&R Robinson International Airport, at O'Neill, we pride ourselves on being the most tech-savvy car rental company in Tobago. Our process is 100% digital. No paperwork, no long lines. From easy pickup to seamless returns, renting a car in Tobago has never been simpler. WhatsApp us now at 1-868-361-1042 to book your vehicle. Don't forget to mention promo code RADIO2 to receive a 5% discount on your rental. Send a WhatsApp message to 1-868-361-1042 today. That's 1-868-361-1042. O'Neill Auto Rentals Tobago, the easiest, most reliable car rental experience on the island.
Vehicle availability is subject to change. Driver must be at least 25 years old and have a valid driver's license to book. For more information, visit www.rentalcartobago.com.
The presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Aloy Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Chamfleur, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on the Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Turn your lights down low and listen to the Master's Radio.
You are invited to join Pastor Morris Johnson of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center, located at number 399 Eastern Main Road, Waiko in Sangre Grande, for the Old Time Gospel Hour Family Radio Ministry every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Mondays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Trauma and Bereavement. Every Tuesday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. The Law and You. Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Dealing with Disabilities. And on Friday evenings from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. All Night Prayer Live on the Street 919 FM. Designed with you in mind. This program deals with today's issues from a biblical perspective, and you will also be given the opportunity to call in and interact with us. Micah 6:8 says, He has shown you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you, but to do justly, to love, have mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Your financial support through the First Citizens Bank would be greatly appreciated. Account number 795-222. For further information, call 753-1113 or 610-4673.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
All right, I'm back with you, Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you for staying with me, those of you on YouTube. Let me apologize to those of you on Facebook.
Answer that guy before the ads, the question. Let me ask him a question. Does he know that the elected members of parliament who commands the majority, which is the government, right? They already went through the form of government. If the majority in the government decide this, we no longer recognize person X to be prime minister. So that person who is prime minister is also leader of the party. Do you know that once they have the majority, they could go to the president and say they don't no longer recognize person X as prime minister and put forward a name, and the president will have to act on that?
Yeah.
Because they command the majority.
Yep.
Chong commands the majority. So when the swearing was the list of names who recognized Chong as the new prime to be the new prime minister, and Dr. Rowley's resignation letter. So it doesn't make sense when you talk about that, because he's the political leader and the things, because you can move. The same thing applies to the opposition. If the majority in the opposition pen a letter and get the list and names of persons sitting in the opposition, goes to the president and say they no longer recognize Kamala Prasad as opposition, that the president will have to act to and put forward the person that they recognize in the house. So it's basically the same thing. So what is they saying in that argument about section so and so and so? There's precedent for that. The thing is that when they're getting confused, the first time we have seen a prime minister who has resigned his position because he said that he was going to do one term. He gave reasons why he did 2 terms. And that is same people who came in 2010 telling me that they're going to give away a 2 terms prime minister. And when they get inside, they'll just shelve that. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Pastor Google. The opposition, Mr. Martin Daly, he made take the wind out of Dr. Rowley. You remember the interview when he wasn't invited? Yeah, you say he wasn't invited, right? They asked Dr. Rowley about the same situation here, and he say he don't do anything without senior council advice, right? So I don't know what Mr. Martin Daly talking about in January. He gave free advice, that they heckle him how he gave free advice and things. Dr. Rowley had done make him move already, right? And he had his senior counsel, who is Douglas, right? He had the advice already. So he trying to take wind out of his sails, because up to this morning, when he was on Morning Edition, he was saying that same thing. And now you hear Ms. Recessa, she talking about going to court again, because Martin Daly is the go-to, and he say it's legal, right? And they was talking something about it politically incorrect and all kinds of stuff. That is not the issue, right? Dr. Rowley get his senior counsel advice and he make him move, and it is correct legally. It is not politically illegal, and I really can't understand why the other senior counsels don't come out and voice the thing and stop this set of questions, where this one say that and that one say that. Make everything smooth, man. But no, it might benefit them, because somebody go call them, like, what is, if she decide to go to court still, what Martin Daly talking about, she going to have to spend money. So that's why she stopped talking about it, because she knew they were going to be wasting the money, but they could still spend it there. They pocket deep. Pastor Google, this country in a good footing right now, right? And they're trying to embarrass certain people, like Mr. Hines and Mr. Imbert and thing. Right? And imagine TV6 saying they're glad to see the back of them. Who give them the authority to say they're glad to see the back of them? They not. Remember, Dr. Rowley asked the fellow when he telling him if he, when he named Joel Brown, he asked him when he telling him if he going to be still the leader of the party, and he resigned the prime ministership. He asked him, use a PNM. Remember that?
It wasn't Joel Brown, it was Akash who would have said that. But yeah.
Is Akash say that, right? Right. If you use a PNM, because that is party thing, right? And the prime ministership is the members of the MPs thing, right? The representatives thing, right? So it's two separate things. And they're trying to make this a huge part. You have to be the political leader, which is the point I was making at Farley, right? You have to be the political leader to be the prime minister. That is not so. And the senior council and them supposed to come out and stop the setter bickering. I find this taking too long and make stupidness out of it.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. Pastor Google, the country must take note that while the opposition leader could not find it within her class range to go to the swearing-in of a brand new prime minister, she had her cronies right outside the president's house, and I believe they were outside the office of the prime minister's residence or so. Some one of them or both protesting. It appears to me that the only interest this opposition leader have is to plunge the country into chaos. The country would have recognized that the new installation of this prime minister was very elaborate, and it was done for a reason. The reason for this elaborate swearing-in, where the prime minister swore in, the president swore in a prime minister, an attorney general, and an entire cabinet, was for the avoidance of doubt. They crossed all their T's and dotted all their I's so that they leave no legal loophole, no lacuna in the law for Kamala Prasad-Bissessar and her bunch of brigands to go and challenge this, this installation. So, for the avoidance of doubt, as long as the Stuart Young have been installed, he cannot be uninstalled. When the president did her part by appointing a new prime minister, he cannot be unappointed by no judiciary, at least in Trinidad and Tobago. It's only in the imagination of the opposition that can be, what has happened yesterday can be undone. I have noticed that they have changed their tone and tenor. I hear Lachmidial talking about it should be an academic exercise where they can go to the court just for an interpretation so that lawyers it can be lucidly clear. They move from the government have committed an offense to an academic exercise. Let us be clear, people. As far as the whole exercise was done, it was done with all three armed branches of the state attending to their portfolio. The judiciary, the legislature, and the executive all were present. It would appear that the prime minister was properly sworn in according to all the legal experts, and that is that. Kamala is now going all about in the court of public opinion, making her case. Why don't she go to court where a judge or a panel of judges can sit? She's all about in the court of public opinion, looking to cause manima and old talk and watery talk and rumshop talk so that people could get agitated and start to cuss all about the place. The opposition is only interested in chaos. not good government. So I wish the new Prime Minister good luck. And Pastor Google, I can well imagine the conversation between Keith and Sharon this morning, now that he's no longer the Prime Minister. I can well imagine. Don't call me, I'm not answering no phone. Leave me alone. I can well imagine. Thank you, Dr. Rowley, for your service. Thank you, Pastor Google.
Thank you very much. That's why you must be taking my call. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that if someone is the leader of the party and he wins the election, they go into Parliament, and the MPs in Parliament, the people in Parliament, don't choose him, don't support him as becoming the Prime Minister, then he would not be appointed as the Prime Minister. If they choose someone else who was not the leader of the party, then that person would be nominated as the leader, would be chosen as the Prime Minister.
Right.
Okay? So even though you are the leader when you win the election, then you go into Parliament, and they don't support you, then it's you to catch. And what the scholar was talking about, the precedent of them always choosing the leader. What the precedent is that the person who garnered the most support from the members of Parliament of that party, that is the precedent every time. That person was the one chosen. It just happened to be the leader. But what happened is that the person who garnered the most support, they were always chosen as the Prime Minister, because that is the law. Okay? So so you have a good day.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Pastor Google.
Good afternoon, sir.
Pastor Google, the caller before Sister Jenny came on is conflating a norm which is not in the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago. That norm is that the political leader of a party, they believe it is automatic that that person will become Prime Minister. They are conflating a norm, but in this instances like these, you don't go with hearsay and what people say and what happened yesterday. You go according to the Constitution and the law. Hence the reason why Martin Daly, SC, as well as, or should I say Casey, I believe he was a QC, I think he's a QC now. Martin Daly, as well as Dr. Rowley. Dr. Rowley rightly said he would have consulted with senior counsel. As when he asked Akash, has anybody ever, at the senior counsel ever spoken to you? He didn't say any attorney, you know. He said, any senior counsel spoken to you? And he said, he couldn't answer. He said, no. And the whole point of the matter is simply this: according to the Constitution, it has nothing to do with who is political leader of the party. The party is irrelevant. This has to do with the people, the members of Parliament, who will write and say, we see so-and-so as our Prime Minister to be the leader in the government, in the Parliament. That is all that is considered. That has nothing to do with, I hear people talking about anti-payment, people talking about, this Mr. Smith, whoever he is, talking about people have been insulted. Were the people insulted when Faisabad Accord was signed just before 2010 election? Were they insulted then? Are they being insulted now when Kamla Prasad Visesa is making arrangements with people like Leroy Batiste, Ansel Roger, and the Love Movement and so on? Were the UNC people consulted? And if so, when? You see, there's one rule for one set of people and another rule for the next set of people. You understand? So let's talk about consultation. Who did Kamla Prasad Visesa consult? When she went and she brought back the PEP. What made is the PEP? Next made is Gary Griffith. It's the NTA. If not the NTA, it's the PEP. No, not the PEP, it's the NTA. Who is she consulting with all of those arrangements? Is she insulting the people who follow her? Yes or no? But we don't go on that. We go on the Constitution and the law, what the law says. And Section 76, one of the law indicates, and as the Honorable President of Trinidad and Tobago said, because she said something afterwards that basis information, and she gave it chronologically, information that she would have received in writing and otherwise, she was then able to make a decision according to the Constitution and the law. So all this whole talk about trying to marry the political leader to the prime ministership of the country is irrelevant and null and void. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Good afternoon, sir.
It was an interesting time in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. I know Kamala said last week, Monday, that her work is the minute that Stuart Young gets sworn in as Prime Minister, her work is to go to the courts of Trinidad and Tobago and challenge that. That's what I heard. So I expect him to hear the court matters preparing for that, instead of all this different talk that we're going through with this whole exercise. I am thinking that by tomorrow morning, Kamala Prasad, the Sessa, and her bunch of attorneys will go to the court and put forward the matter. That's what I'm looking forward to right now. And secondly, concerning Martin Daly, I don't see him as anybody else. I recognize that you give him the respect that he deserves. You call him senior counsel. But while he was talking in that media release, he never referred to Dr. Rowley as Dr. Rowley. You know. He referred to the Prime Minister as Rowley. So it appears to me that they have one set of respect for one type of person, and for others, they give absolutely none. Dr. Rowley took time to study and is recognized throughout the world whenever he moves in. Before his name, it's Dr. Rowley. He is a senior counsel, and you give him the respect when you're talking to him, about him. And they give Dr. Rowley absolutely none when they speak about him. Those fellas, as far as I'm concerned, I don't need to hear anything from them. They are the ones who continue to put all sorts of ideas in the minds of the citizens of this country and corrupt the right-thinking persons, as we say at times. I am okay. I'm glad you didn't get a chance to interview him this evening. And I am okay if you don't ever get a chance to interview him concerning anything concerning what is going on in this country. Thanks for the time, Pastor Google. You have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Let's take a listen to what went on with Fally and Watson. Let me just stroll your minds back.
Another twist in the internal battle within the Progressive Democratic Patriots.
If the Deputy Chief Secretary feels so aggrieved, feels disappointed in my leadership, I will remove the parliamentary whip from over his head, and if he does, let him enter a motion of no confidence in me.
But that's not all.
If he fails, then we will promptly remove him.
The wrangling between Chief Secretary Augustine and his deputy has been playing out publicly after Duke posted a video criticizing his executive for allegedly not helping a group of 27 Tobagonians belonging to the Roxborough folk group who were stranded in New York. But Farley maintains that the Tobago House of Assembly in fact approved over $400,000 for airfare and subsequently accommodation. In an interview on I-95.5 FM on Tuesday morning, the Chief Secretary said he is uncertain as to what is causing Duke's behavior, but denied that there's a power struggle within the PDP.
So he's perhaps struggling with a ghost, but not with Farley.
And even if the no-confidence motion is not forthcoming, Farley said the other 13 PDP members of council will determine Duke's future as Deputy Chief Secretary.
That is something that the the members have considered, because as I said, I have met with them.
But amid the internal issues comes this assurance to the people of Tobago.
The posterings of the Deputy Chief Secretary has not in any way affected the operations of the Tobago House of Assembly.
The group in question was led by former government minister Vanilla Alain Toppin, who could not be reached by CNC3 News for comment. Watson Duke has also not taken any of our calls up to news time. Chester Sambrano, CNC3 News.
Just giving you a flashback. Hello, good afternoon.
Pastor Google, how you doing?
I am okay, sir. How are you?
I'm good. As usual, catching my train to get in the program. But when I just saw the what you played there about what Duke and Fari and the people in America and whatever. But I want to ask a question. I might be something stupid, but I'll ask it. When the NAR had one election, how many seats that Mr. Robinson had?
2.
In that, all right, okay. Was he commanding the majority and wasn't he the prime minister?
Yeah, he was the prime minister.
Well, definitely. So then, what is the problem? What is the problem now? He only had 2 seats, himself and Pamela Nicholson. And he was he the political leader of the NAR? I don't think so. He was not, because he didn't have the majority of seats. So he could not be in political leader, because he was a part of the ONR, part of the UNC, part of some other party and whatever. Also, when Ms. Kamala Bikesa won in 2010, it was 5 parties, so everybody had their leader, and how she became the prime minister. So what is the problem now? What is the problem with Mr. Stuart Young not being the leader of the political leader of the PNM and is the prime minister? He is in the cabinet of the PNM there. The PNM is in government, and Dr. Rowley resigned and put Mr. Stuart Young as his successor until election is called. Then the public or Trinidad and Tobago will decide whether he should remain as the prime minister or not with the results of the election. But so what is the big problem? Why it is a true and fro with Ms. Kamala Bikesa and all this nonsense and court and whatever. I have not seen it. But I will end it there and let the on with your program. I might sound stupid, but this is my idea about the whole situation. Nothing is wrong with that. Go, Mr. Stuart Young. Go as the Prime Minister till election. Right.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, Pastor Google. Thanks for taking my call. I agree exactly with what that gentleman said and with most of your callers this afternoon. I think it's just pure hypocrisy on the part of Farley and Mrs. Bethesda and those characters. By all the arguments that your last caller made.
Yeah.
And I want to congratulate my new Prime Minister. He's also the MP for my area.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Young. I'm very proud of him.
Right.
I want to thank Dr. Rowley for all that he did. I'm very, appreciative of all the service that he's given. I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss Dr. Rowley, but I welcome new blood and Stuart Young. And I just have also one question. Dr. Pastor Google, I don't know what I'm doing wrong on YouTube, but I can't get you on YouTube. Your program isn't playing. I'm listening to you on normal radio today. Normally I could get the YouTube feed. So I don't know if you're aware of it, but...
What you have to do, I don't know what you're typing in, but you have to type in Iwer TV dash Iwer TV dash live broadcast on the Street 919 FM.
Right. Okay, I'll try that word for word as you said, but I have tried everything and it's just
make
not
sure
coming
put the
up at all.
dash. Make sure put the dash.
All right, I'll try that. But thank you for taking my call. And
you're
all
most
the
welcome. Please don't be a stranger. Call back.
No. I call when I get through, so I'm going to continue to call. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Hello, good afternoon.
Pastor Google, a pleasant good afternoon to you. Pastor Google, I saw you play a video from the past, right? I want to bring to your attention something from the past as well.
You know what we're discussing? You know what we're discussing, right?
Yeah, I know we're discussing the Prime Minister.
No, we're discussing the Constitution and people having an issue. And I was talking
Pastor
about...
Google, you know you're unfair. You know you're unfair. You're unfair. Really and truly. You just had a call today, and you, Pastor Google, play something in the past to the people, right? And then you're coming to tell me that I could only talk about that. But you playing things about the past, and you don't want people to talk about the past.
But we were talking, about...
You cannot be unfair. You're being unfair. Bye, Pastor Google. Bye. Bye.
Okay. All right. We're going for the Royal Castle meal tip. We're going for the Royal Castle meal tip.
This meal tip is being brought to you by Royal Castle. Our culture. Our taste.
Lent is here, and the castle is making fasting easy and tasty. Come enjoy any of our 5 delicious fish options, all made with a fresh catch, seasoned local style, and cooked to golden perfection. Try the fish meal. 2 slices of fish with a side. The fish combo. 2 slices of fish, 1 side, and a drink. Maybe the fish sandwich combo of 1 sandwich, a side, and a drink. Want more fish? Well, the Royal Fish Meal is for you. Enjoy a slice of fish, a fish sandwich with a side and a drink. Or maybe you just want our famous fish sandwich. The delicious Lenten specials are hot and waiting for you at your nearest Royal Castle.
Here's a tasty meal tip from Royal Castle. Sometimes you just feel like eating a nice sandwich, right? The sensation of biting into a soft bun with the crunch of fresh lettuce and the taste of tomatoes along with the added condiments, all a treat to your taste buds. At Royal Castle, our sandwiches are a hit. Try the center breast chicken and flying fish sandwiches, the wholesome veggie burger, and at selected locations you can also get the grilled salad or grilled sandwiches. So when you get the craving, remember that the Castle has some delicious sandwiches. Ask for them in a combo too with your favorite side and a drink. Royal Castle. Our culture, our taste.
In this month, close to 2 billion Muslims worldwide observe Ramadan, their most holy and beloved month, yet most difficult. 30 days of fasting from food and drink and praying build mental fortitude and closeness to Allah. There is a lesson in their sacrifice, discipline, and faith, a motivation to us all to be resilient and look forward to a brighter day, just as the hunger of Ramadan ends with the joys of Eid. It is our prayer that the power of this holy month inspire humanity to awaken, to remember God, and to make this world a better place. Ramadan Mubarak to our Islamic community and our nation from your Royal Castle.
That tip was brought to you by Royal Castle. Our culture, our taste.
All right, so I'm back with you, and I just got a message from Mr. Martin Daly that he wants to chat with me. So I'm going to try to get him on the phone line now. So bear with me, Trinidad and Tobago, please. All right? Bear with me as I get Mr. Martin Daly on the phone line.
Question today. Now that the man retire, people spitting fire, and every talking head having their say. For in this mixed up land that we call Trinbago, many times it does just boil down to race. They say that one side like African and the next prefer East Indian, but it's a way of choosing leaders is a disgrace. should be service, not self-advancement or greed. Blessed is the one who was born to lead. Good leaders are born, not made, setting standards is their trade. Blessed is the one who was born to lead. A mentor, a teacher, a trainer. Experience is their greatest tool. Should be discerning, yet forever learning. One who doesn't gladly suffer fools. And in a world that loves a maximum leader, he must know when to let go and delegate. Must be the most able of his peers, not driven by petty fears. And though he can, don't always dominate. Because a leader must be blessed with wisdom also. A good leader know when to take in front and when to follow. A good leader. And a leader must be the one to set the template. A good leader. So those coming after could do.
All right, Trinidad and Tobago. So I believe I have on the phone line with me Senior Counsel, Mr. Martin Daly. Good afternoon, sir. Well, I think it's night by you now.
Good. No. I am in daylight.
Okay.
Unlike a lot of the commentators, I'm in daylight.
Oh, all right. So
Get used to my making fun of everything.
Okay. So how are you, sir?
I am good, thank you, and all the better for speaking to you. I'm sorry again, I was late. Later than I had thought.
That's okay. So welcome to the Street 919 FM. My alias is Pastor Google. My name is Kevin Henry. I carry on.
You are Pastor Google?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Lord, I have to be careful then.
No, you don't have to be. I like how you say that, but that's okay. I would have heard you on another frequency today, sharing your views on the issue of the appointment of the new Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Mr. Stuart Young SC. And you were talking about the Constitution. And that's why I said I wanted to have you on air so that you could share with the listeners of Trinidad and Tobago. Is this, some people are saying that this is a constitutional crisis. Some people are saying,
it can't be serious.
Yes, there are people who are calling it a constitutional crisis.
No.
There are some people who are saying that it's a breach of democracy. And also there are some people who are they're totally oblivious or unaware of, the Constitution and what it really what does it really stand for, say, in a matter like this. So after hearing you this morning, I said I want you to come on my program, Constructive Talk, and explain or give a nice outlook of what are your thoughts about what was done yesterday. Is it constitutionally correct? Is it questionable? If the opposition is to take it to court, would it stand? What are your thoughts, Mr. Martin Daly?
Okay.
SC.
Okay. So as far as I'm concerned, the appointment is constitutionally proper because the circumstances that were presented to the president for her to act under 6(1)(a) of the Constitution were appropriate for her to take that action.
Right.
Section 76(1)(a) requires 2 or 3 things. One, it requires a vacancy, and that was satisfied when Rowley tendered his letter of resignation effective midnight on Sunday. There being a resignation, she then has to pick the person with the qualification described in the Constitution, which is the leader of the party who has a majority of members in the House of Representatives. Now that's very, very important. It's not saying the majority of a political party in the country or anything of the kind. The majority of the representatives in the House of Representatives in that party. And for the president to be satisfied about that, well, the obvious thing to do is for them to submit a letter that says words to the effect, we the undersigned, and all 21 people put their names. What she told us in her disclosure statement is she got letters from everybody except Arawi, who was abroad, and Arawi sent a separate letter. So the second condition was satisfied, and that makes the appointment constitutionally proper and lawful. And of course, the opposition is free to go to court to ask them to ask the court to interpret the Constitution and to ask the court whether the Constitution was properly interpreted. What they're not entitled to do is to ask that the president's acts be upset or overruled because there's a clause preventing that. But like in the Reggie Dumas case and in Nizam Mohammed case, the court could say, well, this was not done correctly, so then you get a sort of guidance for the future. Now, I have a problem with the opposition saying that there was a coup, because if there was a coup, you wouldn't be able to go to court. That's not how coups work. So our constitution is functioning. Some people might not like the outcome. Some people might not like the way that they strategically use the constitution to have young appointed prime minister. But it was done under the constitution, and the constitution and the laws of Trinidad and Tobago permit them to go to court to challenge it. I mean, I dare say in some other countries you wouldn't even be able to talk about court, let alone do it. So I don't accept that it was a coup. I think what is disturbing people is sometimes there is a distinction between what is legal and what is considered legitimate. And there are two different things. Legitimate is simply how it looks or how it go look. And so people are concerned, I believe, that well, you put this man up for appointment under 76, but his party never had a chance to say if they would like him or somebody else. So to that extent, there was an impairment of democracy, but it does not make the appointment illegal. But of course, people could say we're unhappy about the fact that we never got a chance to propose Joe Blokes instead. And so to that extent, well, you know, it's not really a legitimate use of the lawful powers. But I don't consider that a big problem in this case. I mean, I always emphasize the difference between legal and legitimate. I don't consider that a problem in this case, because in 4 or 5 months, Mr. Young will have to face the electorate, and he'll either get his legitimacy then or he won't. So for now, you know, let's stay calm and let's see how it plays out. And if I was the opposition, I would try to find a way to bring policies before the electorate to overthrow him if they don't like him. That's what I would do. Okay. And we need policies because we have a violent crime problem that nobody has a solution for. So it really would be nice if we had two competing sets of policies to tell us how they're going to raise the detection rate for murder above 20%.
Okay, but is there
okay, that's a long answer, and I'm sorry.
No, that's good. That's a good answer. My other concern is that we're looking at what happened in the UK with the change of the PM in the UK. All right, it wasn't. Could you consider that to be like a precedent?
Well, no, because they have a different system.
Okay.
And they have a different set of conventions. Remember, we don't do anything by convention in this part of the world.
Okay.
If something isn't illegal, people say, well, you can't do me nothing. So, I mean, I don't mean to be indelicate, and I apologize to your viewers.
No. What you're saying there is
But you and I, for example, wouldn't belch loud in a church. But if you belch loud in a church, it's not illegal, but your mommy and my mommy wouldn't like that.
No, no.
So the British do things by conventions or understanding.
Right.
We don't think like that. We don't think like that.
So
I am not disturbed.
So if the opposition does take it to court, right? Could the court say, all right, could the court tell Prime Minister Young that he has to call an election? Could the court say he is not a legitimate Prime Minister? What is this? What is this whole? They're just going to the court to get an interpretation of the Constitution.
Correct.
What can that do to the appointment of him being Prime Minister?
I don't believe it can do anything practical. What it can do is score a huge political point, which you would then carry on the platform and say these people are so incompetent, they did this wrong and so on. But we can't assume that political questions or questions on which public opinion are determined by public opinion can be decided in the court. If they made a mess of this, then the electorate must say, punish you for that, you know.
Right. So that's the only thing that they can do.
Well, that's my opinion. I mean, there are many other opinions, but that's my opinion. It's a practical problem. And part of our problem in Trinidad is we let people do things and get away with it when we should vote, you know, vote them out for it. But of course, you know, voting out has a whole other kind of complex sociological. Well, I can't say anything that's not politically incorrect. But we should be voting people out on issues. And if people feel that Young is illegitimate, vote him out. But in my view, he's lawfully installed.
He's lawfully installed. Thank you very much, Mr. Martin Daly, for being on Constructive Talk 91.9. I hope I can always have you back.
Well, you have my number. Right. I ask you how you get it. Sorry, oh gosh, to your viewers are listening. I'd like to make joke. Dr. Google boy. No, of course you can call me anytime.
All right, all right.
I'm only interested in sharing my views. We have a highly intelligent, articulate population in Trinidad. I live in the real world. You know, I be down in the Panyard, I think. And I'm always happy to share my views. I don't expect people to agree.
Right, right. Would you mind taking some calls, though? Hello? No. Hello? Callers, you can't call on that line. He is on that line. Oh, my goodness. You see, I'm trying to get you all to get some calls in, but you all are calling the line that he is on. You can't do that. If you do that, I'll get he got cut off. So, all right. So, so hear what I'm saying to the callers, right? You can't call that line right now. He is on, and I'm trying to get him, trying to get you all to get some questions in, you know what I mean? So if you call in, you know, that you're not gonna make much sense though. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Pastor Google. Good afternoon to the callers, listeners, 919. Constructive Talk. I must say, good contribution by Mr. Martin Daly, who would have given a clearer understanding for those who don't really know. And
go ahead. He's calling me on my private phone. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, and I must say, job well done. Right now, you see. What the UNC is trying to do, right? They're trying to give the perception to make the population into believing that it is unconstitutional, right, with the swearing in or the sworn in of the incoming Prime Minister, Minister Young, right? Because what they are thinking is we have a Prime Minister and we have a political leader. So in their mind, that the political leader should be the Prime Minister, which I find is kind of off-key, because the Prime Minister have its constitution and the party have its constitution. But people don't understand the both now, so they're trying both of them into one. And I'm glad that Mr. Daly would have able to clear up some of the misconception that the UNC is trying to portray.
All right.
So let them go to court and deal with them. We go see how things go from there. Good program when you are listening.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon. Last caller.
Yes, good afternoon, Pastor Google. So he discussed my thing about the political leader and the Prime Minister in the same party. You don't have to have you don't have to have one person as the two position. You can have the political leader and somebody else to be the Prime Minister. But Pastor Google, the people who are complaining, have they identified the clause, the law that
all they're seeing is the party.
Wrong?
All they were seeing is that in the clause where it says party, that's all they're talking about really. But I have to go.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much, Shinata Bigo, for being with me. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Please go join me from 12 o'clock.
Question today. Now that the man retire, people spitting fire, and every talking head having their say. For in this
business owners, are you looking to reach a vast audience and boost your brand's visibility? Then look no further. The Street 919 FM is here to help you shine. With over 170,000 followers on our social media platforms, our radio station is the perfect platform to showcase your products and services. Join us and let your message be heard by thousands of eager listeners. Contact us now to learn more about our affordable advertising packages. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to connect with your target audience. Advertise with the Street 919 FM today. For more